Chris here at the Handle It Warehouse. We've just received a Handle It Stretch Wrapper, and we want to prepare you for what to expect when you receive your Handle It Stretch Wrapper. As you can see, it arrives in this massive box, which is on a very large pallet. First things first, make sure it arrives in a box. If it does not arrive in a box, that means there could be freight damage to the unit. So, second thing would be, if the box is here, there's no damage to the box. So take a walk around and make sure that there's no damage or big creases or dents in the box. Do not sign any freight paperwork until you get a chance to open this up and take a look and make sure everything is intact. So we open the box, now we want to inspect for damage. Starting at the bottom of the mast, we're going to take a look at the lower limit switch, just make sure that's intact. So up here you have the upper limit switch, same as the lower one down there, check that out. Then next to that you have this fan cover, make sure this isn't dented in at all. From there we're going to look at the carriage, just make sure everything's intact here. You can see like the rollers, make sure they're not pushed in or anything. And down here, pretty important, you can see this limit switch, it's for the carriage door. Make sure that's not offset or got hit at all. And then from there you have the safety pan. Make sure that's not dented in, because you can see it's close to the box, so if someone hits it, it could get dented in. Big picture, take a look, make sure there's nothing beyond cosmetic damage. If there's anything like just a smashed in tower or something like that where you think it couldn't be fixed, that would be a reason to refuse the shipment. All this other stuff can be fixed easily, so just call your local dealer and they can contact us, we can get you parts. Just note any shipment damage on the paperwork, take pictures, and call us if you have any questions. So we inspected for damage, we removed the box and all the packaging. Next thing we want to do is tip the mast up and insert bolts so it stays secure. The bolts for that are going to be located right here next to the power cord, next to the manuals. You're going to need an 8mm and 6mm Allen wrench in order to secure these. So now we can tip up the mast, and as we do that, we want to be careful not to pinch this power cord. Make sure it feeds through. And once it's up, you can put these bolts in and tighten them up. And there's one other on the back side. Now that we have the unit in place, we want to plug it in to a 110 outlet. Couple things to note. You do want to have a dedicated circuit with a dedicated outlet. You don't want to use extension cords, and you don't want to plug into a GFI outlet. The GFI outlet will trip it. Now we're going to plug it in. Now that we have the unit plugged in, we can turn it on by turning this power switch to the right. Once it boots up, it is going to ask you for a system reset by blinking right here. So you push that in, and what's going to do is put the carriage to the home position, and the turntable is going to go to the home position. And when it's finished, it's going to beep back at you. Now that the system reset, I'm going to go into manual mode by toggling here, and I'm going to hit the carriage up speed. Now I want to bring this up to chest level. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to walk you through some different things to look at, just to point out how the sensors work on this machine and make sure they're all intact. Now we're on the back side of the machine. I just want to point out a few components here. Right up here you have the upper limit switch. What this does is as the carriage rises up and it clicks right here, it lets it know that the carriage is at the highest point and that it can't go any higher. If you go down here, you have the lower limit switch. Same thing, as it's going down you can see it's in line, clicks, and it'll stop. Next to here you have the fan cover. Once in a while someone might hit this or it could get dented in and you might hear like a clicking noise. That's just the fan hitting this cover. If that happens, you can easily replace the cover or even just undent the cover by hitting it out. So all of our machines have a safety feature on it. So when this carriage is going down, if it hits anything, it's going to stop. I tell you that because a lot of times people see this and they see that it's loose and they want to tighten this pan. That is intentionally loose. The reason it's loose is because when it goes up and it's hit, it does trip this limit switch here. So if you tighten it up, it's going to trip the limit switch and you get an error code and the carriage won't go down. So do not tighten the safety pan. Also, when you receive it, sometimes if someone hits this, or just even after you have it, if they dent this in and it's kind of pushed up a little bit, it'll be tripping that. So you want to keep an eye out for that as well. Another feature of all of our handle it stretch wrappers is that they all have a photo eye on it. The photo eye on this machine is right here, and what that does, it detects the height of the pallet. So it tells the carriage, hey, I'm at the top of the pallet, I don't see anything, time to come back down. So if I put my hand in front of this, notice right now it's green. If I had a pallet there, it would be yellow because it would be detecting the pallet. And once it got over to the top of the pallet, it would just be green and would come back down. Most of these photo eyes will detect any color that we have for a pallet, but if you get black or shiny loads or some stuff with certain holes in it, you may need to upgrade to a different photo eye. But this one does have a sensitivity adjustment on it, so you can try that out first to see if it'll work for your load. Now that you've received the machine, inspected it, put it in place, plugged it in, powered it up, and know the basic controls of it, we do have more videos that you can watch that show you how to use and operate the machine. Thanks again for purchasing Handle It Stretch Wrappers.